My wife won't stop comparing my paycheck to her friends' rich husbands, and it's tearing us apart. Am I not enough for her anymore? I've been sitting on this for a while, and I need to get it off my chest. I'm 28, married to my wife Clara, who's 27, and lately, things have been rough. Like really rough. The main issue? She won't stop comparing my income to what her friends' husbands make. It's been eating at me for months, and I don't know if I'm overreacting or if I've got a legit reason to be pissed. Here's the whole mess. Bear with me, it's a lot. We've been married for 3 years, together for 6. I work as a mechanic. Decent gig, pays the bills, but I'm not rolling in cash. Clara's a receptionist at a dental office, so between us, we do okay. We've got a small house, nothing fancy, but it's ours. Or at least, it was fine until she started hanging out more with her friend Sophie and that whole crew. Sophie's married to this guy who's some mid-level manager at a tech company, pulling in way more than I ever will, turning wrenches. And that's where it all started going downhill. Kicked off last summer. We were at Sophie's place for a barbecue. Nice house, big backyard. The works. I'm flipping burgers with Sophie's husband, trying to make small talk, when Clara comes over and says, loud enough for everyone to hear, "Luke, you should see how much Dave makes. They just got a new car, cash, no loan." Dave just smirks, like he's used to this, and I laugh it off because what else am I gonna do? But inside, I'm fuming. That was the first time, but it sure as hell wasn't the last. Now it's constant. Every time we hang out with her friends, it's something. "Oh, Mike's taking Jen to Hawaii next month. His bonus was insane." Or "Tom just redid their kitchen. He's killing it at the firm." Meanwhile, I'm over here fixing oil leaks for 40 grand a year, and suddenly that's not good enough. I get it, her friends' husbands are in corporate jobs or whatever, and I'm not. But I didn't sign up to feel like a loser in my own marriage. The money stuff's bad enough, but it's gotten worse because Clara's started spending like we're keeping up with them. A few months ago, she came home with this designer purse, $400. $400. We don't have that kind of cash lying around. I asked her what the hell she was thinking, and she got all defensive. "Sophie has one, and I deserve nice things too," she said. I told her we've got a mortgage, car payments, and I'm already stretched thin. She just rolled her eyes and said, "Maybe if you made more, this wouldn't be a problem." That one hit hard. I didn't talk to her for 2 days after that. It's not just the big purchases either. She's constantly on about little stuff. New curtains because ours look cheap. A fancy blender because Sophie's got one. Dinners out at places I can't pronounce. Our savings are basically gone now, and I'm stressing every time I check the bank account. I've tried talking to her about it like, "Hey, we can't live like this." But she acts like I'm the one being unreasonable. Last week, she snapped at me. "If you cared about me, you'd figure out how to make it work." Figure it out? I'm not a magician. Then there's the crap with her friends. Sophie's the ringleader. She's nice enough to your face, but there's this vibe. Like, she'll say stuff like, "Oh, Luke, you're so handy. I bet you could fix anything." But it feels backhanded, you know? Like she's pointing out I'm not some suit with a corner office. Dave's worse. He'll straight up ask me what I make, then laugh like it's a joke when I dodge the question. Clara never sticks up for me. One time, after Dave made some crack about how real men provide, I waited for her to say something, anything. She just giggled and changed the subject. That night, I told her it bothered me, and she said I was too sensitive. Too sensitive? I'm her husband, not a punching bag. To deal with all this, I've been trying to pick up extra work. I started doing side jobs, fixing cars for people on weekends, cash under the table. It's exhausting, but it brings in a couple $100 here and there. I thought Clara would appreciate it, but nope. She's all, "You're gone all the time now?" Or "That's it. Dave's bonus was 5 times that." I spent one Saturday under some guy's rusty pickup, came home covered in grease, and she didn't even ask how it went. Just complained that I smelled like oil. I'm busting my ass to make her happy, and it's still not enough. Her family's in on it too. Her mom's the worst. We were over there for dinner a couple months back, and her mom goes, "You know, my friend's son-in-law just bought his wife a lake house. Such a good provider." She didn't even look at me when she said it, but Clara nodded along like it was gospel. Her dad's more subtle. He'll ask how work's going, then sigh like he's disappointed. I used to get along with them, but now every visit feels like a performance review I'm failing. Clara doesn't see it or doesn't care. She just soaks it up and comes home with more ideas about how we're behind. All this is starting to change me, and I hate it. I've been pulling away from her. Not on purpose, just, I don't know, self-preservation, I guess. I don't want to talk when I get home because I know it'll turn into another round of, why can't you be like so-and-so? Last weekend, we were supposed to watch a movie. Just us. But she spent the whole time scrolling Instagram, showing me pics of Sophie's new patio furniture. I got up, went to bed, and didn't say a word. She noticed, though. Later she asked why I'm so distant. And when I tried to explain, she turned it around on me. You don't even try anymore, she said. That's rich, coming from her. I keep thinking back to how things used to be. When we met, she didn't care what I made. I was 22, working at a garage, and she was this bubbly girl who'd bring me coffee on her lunch break. We'd split cheap takeout and laugh about how broke we were. She used to say she loved how hard I worked, how I could fix anything. Now it's like that guy doesn't exist to her. I don't know where that Clara went, but I miss her. There's this one moment that keeps replaying in my head. It was a month ago at some dinner with her friends. Fancy restaurant, way out of my league, cloth napkins, waiters and ties, the whole deal. I'm sitting there in my best shirt, which still looks like it came off the clearance rack next to Dave's tailored jacket. The bill comes and everyone's splitting it. My share's $90, 90. I could fix a transmission for that. Clara sees me hesitate and whispers, "Don't embarrass me." Paid it, but I was done. On the drive home, I told her how humiliated I felt, and she said, "If you made more, we wouldn't have to worry about this." That's when I realized she's not even on my team anymore. Our house feels different now too. It's this little two-bedroom place, white siding, cracked driveway, used to feel like home. Now it's a battleground. The living room's got that new couch she insisted on, even though the old one was fine. Kitchen's got that damn blender I never use. Every corner's a reminder of what I can't give her. I've started spending more time in the garage, tinkering with my old bike, just to get away from it all. She hates that, says I'm avoiding her. Maybe I am. I've tried fixing this. I sat her down a couple weeks ago, laid it all out, told her how her comparisons make me feel like I'm not enough, how the spending's killing us, how I'm tired of her friends and her family piling on. She cried, said she didn't mean to hurt me, that she just wants a better life. I get that. Who doesn't? But I asked her point blank, "Am I enough for you or not?" She didn't answer, just sat there sniffling, then went to bed. That silence said more than any fight we've had. Now I'm stuck. Part of me wants to keep trying, take on more side jobs, maybe go back to school, I don't know. But another part's just done. I love her, but I can't keep living like this, feeling like a failure every day. I've even started wondering if she'd be happier with someone like Dave or Mike or Tom, someone who can give her the life she's chasing. That thought sucks, but it's there. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I saw some folks on Reddit venting about stuff like this, and I figured I'd throw my hat in the ring. I don't know what to do. Keep fighting for us, call it quits, or just suck it up and deal. She's not a monster. She's just different now. But I'm tired. Am I the bad guy here for wanting her to stop? Or am I just whining about something every couple deals with? Update. How the situation has evolved since then. So, it's been 11 months since I last vented here, and holy crap, a lot's changed. I didn't expect things to go the way they did after that whole mess with Clara comparing my income to her friends' husbands. Figured I'd give you all an update since I've been thinking about it nonstop lately, and honestly, I'm still processing everything. After that last blowout I told you about, the one where I asked Clara if I was enough and she didn't answer, we didn't talk much for a while. I mean, we lived in the same house, but it was like we were roommates who barely tolerated each other. I'd crash in the garage most nights, tinkering with my bike or just scrolling my phone to avoid her. She'd stay in the living room, probably texting Sophie or whoever, and that was that. It wasn't a blow-up fight or anything dramatic, just this cold, quiet distance that kept growing. About a month after that, I hit my limit. I couldn't keep pretending everything was fine while she drained our bank account and threw shade at my paycheck. So I sat her down again, this time with a plan. I told her straight up, "We're drowning in debt because of your spending, and I'm done feeling like a failure. Either we fix this together or I'm out." She didn't cry this time, just stared at me, then said, "Fine, what's your big idea?" I laid it out. No more crazy purchases, we stick to a budget, and she stops with the comparisons. I even offered to keep doing side jobs if she'd meet me halfway. She agreed, but I could tell she wasn't thrilled. For a while, it actually worked. She cut back on the shopping, no more designer crap or random kitchen gadgets. I was pulling in extra cash from fixing cars, and we started chipping away at the credit card bills. It wasn't perfect, but it felt like we were at least rowing in the same direction. She still hung out with Sophie, but I didn't go along anymore. Told her I'd rather stay home than deal with the side eye from that crowd. She didn't fight me on it, which was a relief. Then, around 4 months in, things got weird. Clara started acting off. She'd come home late from work, say she had extra stuff to finish. But she'd be all dressed up, nicer than you'd expect for a dental office. I didn't think much of it at first. Figured maybe she was just trying to feel good about herself after dialing back the spending. But then I noticed she was on her phone more, smiling at texts she wouldn't show me. One night, I asked who she was talking to, and she snapped, "It's just work. Luke, relax." That's when the red flags started waving. I probably should have left it alone, but I couldn't shake the feeling something was up. So yeah, I did the thing you're not supposed to do. I checked her phone while she was in the shower, and there it was. Messages with some guy named Mark from office. Nothing crazy explicit, but flirty as hell. Stuff like, "You looked amazing today," and "Can't wait to see you tomorrow." My stomach dropped. I didn't confront her right then, waited a couple days to cool off and figure out what to say. When I finally brought it up, it was a disaster. I asked her who Mark was, calm as I could manage, and she went from 0 to defensive in 2 seconds. "He's just a coworker. Why are you snooping?" she yelled. I told her about the texts, and she flipped it on me. Said I was paranoid, that I'd pushed her away with my distance and obsession with money. I fired back that maybe if she hadn't spent years tearing me down, I wouldn't be distant. It turned into this huge screaming match. Plates got thrown, doors got slammed. She stormed out and didn't come back till the next morning. That was the tipping point. A week later, she told me she wanted a break. Not a divorce, just space to think. I didn't argue. Honestly, I was too tired. She moved in with Sophie, which stung, but I wasn't surprised. I stayed in the house, kept working, kept my head down. We didn't talk for weeks, and I started getting used to it, just me, the garage, and a six-pack on Fridays. It was lonely, but it beat the constant tension. Here's where the new problem comes in: the house. Turns out, Clara's name's on the deed too, and now she's saying she wants to sell it. She hit me with this a month ago, called out of the blue and said, "I need my half of the equity. I'm starting over." Starting over? I've been pouring everything into this place. Mortgage, repairs, you name it, while she was off flirting with Mark and blowing cash. Now she wants to cash out and leave me scrambling? I can't afford to buy her out, and if we sell, I'm screwed. I'd have to move, probably rent some crap apartment, and say goodbye to the one thing I've got left. I talked to a lawyer buddy of mine, not official, just over beers, and he said it's messy since we're still married. Community property and all that. I don't even know if she's serious or just trying to twist the knife, but it's got me spiraling. I've been sleeping like garbage, stressing about losing the house on top of everything else. Work's suffering too. I snapped at a customer last week, almost lost a regular over it. Clara's doing, I don't know, fine, I guess? She's still with Sophie, still working, probably still texting Mark. I saw her once, about 2 months ago, picking up some clothes. She looked good, new haircut, new outfit. And it hit me how far apart we've drifted. She didn't say much, just grabbed her stuff and left. I wanted to ask if she's happy now, if this is what she wanted all along, but I didn't. What's the point? I'm a mess but hanging on. The side jobs keep me busy, and I've been fixing up the bike. Might sell it if the house thing goes south. I don't hate Clara, not really. I just wish she'd seen what I was trying to give her instead of what I couldn't. The comparison stopped. Sure, but at what cost? Now I'm looking at losing my home because she's starting over. And I'm stuck wondering if I should have walked away sooner. So that's the update. 11 months later, we're on a break, she's got a side piece, or at least I think she does, and I'm fighting to keep my roof. I don't know if I'm the a-hole for digging in about the house or if she's the one screwing me over. Am I out of line for wanting to hold on to what's mine after all this?
Appreciate you watching. Like it, subscribe, and let's roll with more stories.